head off to church and wanted to just take a minute and share a lesson that I posted under my Facebook page, Martin Houston Speaks, a couple of days ago, and felt like it'd be a good idea to come and share with you tonight before I head to church about the ABCDs of fear. And it's really simple, but it is so powerful. I want to just take a moment and encourage you that fear is a natural part of life. Remember that first and foremost. Fear is a natural part of life. If a person doesn't have fear, that probably means that they're not really engaging in anything or taking any chances or stepping out. So I want to encourage you that if you have fear, it's okay. You just can't let fear control you and prevent you from doing what is necessary for you to be successful. The first letter, of course, is the letter A, and it just means what I was just talking about. Acknowledge that you have fear. Acknowledge that it's not abnormal. It doesn't mean you're weak. It doesn't mean that you're incompetent. It doesn't mean that you're not capable. It just simply means that there may be something that you need to address or look at or think about or prepare for or do something different before you move forward. When I played football at Alabama, I used to get anxious before every game, and that went. And as a matter of fact, the more I played, the older I got, and the greater my role became, the more I struggled with that, or not struggled, had to deal with it. Even had to take my Lanas, the little chewable kind, before practice, and then before games, and at halftime, and all, just to settle myself down. It wasn't because I couldn't face it or do it. It was just that those emotions were there, and I had to deal with them in the right way. But what it made me do is make sure that there was never a time that I wasn't prepared. And so it drove me, instead of to not do something, it actually drove me to engage even more. So acknowledge your fear. Don't run from it. Don't hide from it. Acknowledge it. But then B is take the bold step or have boldness to face it, to go against it, to go against the odds. I'll ask you this. What is the risk if you don't take the chance? If that fear stops you from doing what it's trying to stop you from doing, what's the consequences? Is that risk greater than the risk of you giving in to the fear? Or, I'm sorry, I said that wrong. Is that risk greater than you not doing it or versus doing it? So make sure that you take the bold step that it takes in order to advance. I think that Joyce Myers said, courage is doing it afraid. A lot of people that you see who are really, really successful would tell you that they have moments of fear, but they have learned to conquer it and face it by acknowledging it, being bold. And then the C is commit to action. Don't just do it for a day, but commit to. I should say it a different way. Commit to continual action, because what will happen is you'll initially face that fear, and then all of a sudden you'll find yourself a few days later with that fear coming back up again. It's because you didn't commit to continual, consistent action in the face of that fear. So make sure you acknowledge it. Make sure that you're bold in facing it, and then make sure you commit to continual, consistent action. And when do you do that? A lot of us say, one day I'm going to take that chance. So before I explain this principle to you for the letter D, I want to ask you, what would you do if you knew you would not fail? And if you're not doing that, ask yourself why. And most of us would say this because of fear of failing or coming up short. And we're always going to do it one day. One day we're going to do it. One day. Well, instead of saying one day, make today day one. No matter if you just do something small, that's okay because you committed to action. You were bold about it. You acknowledged you had the fear, but you took today and made it day one. So those four things, once again, if you're going to conquer fear or embrace fear or get past fear, whatever way you want to describe it, you first of all have to acknowledge that fear is there. You can't pretend like it's not there. You can't pretend like you don't feel it. You have to acknowledge it. Two is you have to be bold. You have to have courage. That's why I wrote the book, The Encouragement Factor, Give Me One More Inch, because that's what most people are simply missing is encouragement or the courage inside of them that they need to take the step. Now, once you have faced it, once you're bold, be committed to action. Don't give up. Don't get worried. Don't get tired. Don't do it for a few days. Do it day by day and do it consistently and remain committed to it. And then when do you start? Not one day, but day one. Make today your day one. I'm Martin Houston with Martin Houston Speaks. I'm so glad to be speaking with you right now. If you want to find out more information about my speaking organization or about empowerment strategies and solutions, go to martinhouston.org. You will find a lot of the information about Martin Houston Speaks, more information to come about empowerment strategies and solutions. I appreciate your time. Look forward to speaking with you. And if you want to book me to come and encourage your team, your organization, or your association, just go to martinhouston.org/book me. Drop the information there, and I'll reach back out to you. Thank you, and God bless.